We are live. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Relationship Flow Sip and Chat. You are on with Daryl, Doc, and Miss Ruth. How is everybody doing this evening? Where are you checking in from? What are you sipping on? Even though I was thinking we don't do a lot of sipping on here anymore.
Well, we went away from it for some reason.
I don't know why we went away from sipping.
We went away from sipping for some reason. Some other opportunities came about, and sipping went away.
Is that what I mean? Yeah, I guess so. So now we really just do a lot of chatting. We don't do a
We
whole
just
lot of sipping.
a whole bunch of chatting.
Well, what is
That's
Daryl
okay.
sipping on? Something he's
Right
blowing
there,
on.
what you sipping on?
I have a nice cup of caramel coffee.
Ooh,
Oh,
that sounds good. I
yeah.
have some
This is
lemon
my
water.
treat. This is my treat. Caramel coffee
Okay.
is my treat.
And I'm
Nice.
sipping on water as well.
Lemon water.
Hmm. Yes, I'm sipping on water too. Good. So, Daryl, how was your week?
Again, fast. It was fast, and I
I
feel
mean, we
like
really
they
had
try
two
to
weeks
make.
off.
We did.
Yeah, we didn't call last week. We ran an old show.
Oh wow! Look at that. Somebody was writing into the old show like it was live. I'm not gonna say who it was, but somebody was
I wonder who.
somebody was writing yesterday looking for a response today. It was crazy.
It was a bit confusing, I must say.
It was because it came on like Sunday or something like that. It was like a weird day
I
too. It
was so
wasn't even.
confused.
It was like
Yeah.
sip and chat just today, whatever day it was.
I
It
wrote
just
Daryl.
happened.
I was like, "Where is everybody? What's happening?" I'm writing and nobody's answering. He's like, "Ruth, I don't know."
I was so confused. I had to go on, and I'm like, I saw myself, but I was like, is this live? I think this might be live. I wrote in too, like, hey, and nobody replied to me. It was weird. I didn't get it. y'all need to fix this sipping chat. This doesn't
It
make
was a
sense.
little weird.
I thought it was running Friday. So I missed it totally. I
like,
totally missed the whole thing. I think
did
I
we?
wrote something on Sunday.
Like, did we move to a new night? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make Sundays.
And you
It's
know,
the Lord's Day.
Old Faithful was there. I'm like, "Hey, fam." I'm like, "We didn't even
Yeah.
say hi." How rude. Oh, we tried.
So your week was fast.
Yeah, it was.
Your 2
Again, I didn't realize we missed a week. I mean, I think they tried to make me work this week for my money. I was kind of upset about that. I'm like, how am I supposed to work for money? This is not how it's supposed to work.
Mm.
So I had to earn my paycheck. It was kind of weird this week. I don't like it. Didn't like it. Didn't like it one bit.
That happens.
I'm gonna go talk to him about this. Like, we can't be having me work like this. It's not good. I'm tired. This week I'm tired. They made me work. I'm tired.
Oh wow.
Oh boy.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this is his attitude is very interesting. It'll go a long way in our conversation. So ladies, side Johns, listen up because he's going to tell you about his money story. You already see he doesn't like to work for it, so be prepared.
Be prepared.
So how was your week, Neil?
Thanks for asking. I had a really good week. A lot of me time, which I love, which you know.
Yes.
Grandma Ruth's birthday. So she turned 97. Woo-hoo.
Yes.
So celebrated the
Wonderful.
queen. Yeah. Had a great week. My weeks are pretty good.
Good.
Thank goodness. They're pretty good. Pretty cool.
Every time I see pictures of her, I think of this is funny. I think about her fried chicken.
As you should, because she made a really good fried chicken.
Yes. The last time I had it, she brought some to my grandmother's funeral.
Oh,
Yeah, and I
wow.
mean the chicken was so good
You
though.
remember that?
I
Yes.
remember that. I remember that. So when I see her, I think about that's like, who if it'd be
That
appropriate to
that lady could
ask
cook.
ask her to fry some chicken? Would that be?
She can cook. No, actually, she still cooks. So I may ask her to do that for you. She still cooks.
Does she at
Yes,
97?
at
That's what's up.
97, at least once a week, she cooks.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That
She's a
is
tough act to
wonderful.
follow. Tough act to
Yes,
follow there. Trust
yes,
me.
and she
Mhm.
looked wonderful.
Thank you. She did. She had a blast. She had a blast. You see where I get it. I'm like, come on, shake it out.
Yes, yes. And when you film her doing her little exercises, like,
See?
okay,
She wanted to do
she
it.
be getting it in. She be getting it in.
We could all take a page out of her book.
For sure. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I hope you're getting those pearls of wisdom.
Yes, I am. Over and over and over again. I'm like, I've heard those two stories, Mom. Last week. Like, well, I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to tell you again.
That's right. That's right.
But all good.
Nothing like that.
Blessings.
Nothing like that.
All blessings.
Yes. Well, my week was pretty good too.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was nice. I wasn't like working furiously on anything. I mean, I'm out, doing stuff to try to promote my book and setting up some things,
Good.
setting up I do have a book signing coming up, and just trying to get things in motion.
Let us know.
Yes,
Get it out there. Yes.
Let me find out. Book signing. Let's get it.
So proud of you, Doc. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. So it's been a good week, a really good week. I felt really productive this week.
Good.
So tonight's sip and chat topic is relationships and money. And we all know that if you're in a long-term relationship, that this is a topic that comes up. Or you know what? I'm not even gonna say that because I have had some couples in therapy who've never talked about money. So it's a topic that should come up, but it doesn't always come up.
Very true.
Yes, but it is a topic that we know. I think they've said that it is number 2 on the list of things that cause divorce, that lead to divorce. Infidelity being number 1.
It seems like it's number 1 on even getting into a relationship. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, okay? To get into a relationship. Because some people believe that if you're broke, you shouldn't even date. You can't even get none if you're broke.
Oh, yeah. Didn't Cardi B say that? Broke boys get none?
That's what she said. And
broke boys don't deserve none, right?
We don't deserve it because we broke.
Don't want no scrubs.
Yeah.
I get confused because they broke. It ain't math, and the math ain't mathing. I don't get it. It's just confusing to me. It's a brand new world out there, and it's really, your bankroll definitely dominates a lot of, and that's what they're saying. Everybody wants the people with money. So if there's 5 people with money, and there's 100 people, all 100 want the 5 people. Everybody can't get them.
Right. And you know what? I haven't heard men say that as much as I hear them say it more recently. I was talking to someone this week who said they were going out on a date with someone and they called the girl broke. And I was like, that's unusual. I don't hear that often. I might hear that from a woman talking about a guy, but the men are looking at it too.
We're starting to wake up and understand that we're not the meal ticket that you want us to be. So
really,
we want y'all to meet us in the middle, right? We don't want y'all broke behind either. Broke girls don't deserve none either. That's a lie. we'll break a broke girl off.
That's a shame. So what if so does it work if there are 2 broke people?
Well, then it's perfect because you probably meet in the park.
I think then it works.
But I did hear that term. What is it called? I can't remember. It's basically dating on a budget because of the time are, it's tough right now. Things are really tough. So people are dating. I forget what it's called, but it's kind of like a budget dating. You're dating very, going to meet to get coffee in the park, something that's very inexpensive. Like I can get you a cup of coffee, a medium. Don't go large or nothing, but I can get you a medium.
They can't get a tall?
Yeah, you can get a medium. Don't try to get an extra pump of nothing in it. But
not a grande?
A grande means you really going home. Grande that's the fucking side of the menu. Grande means it's going to happen. So you better stay with the medium.
And it's so crazy because one of the most romantic dates I've ever had in my life didn't cost anything.
Those are the ones.
Well, it's a different time because money right now is very, you hear it in all the songs, you see it on the TV. Money is really what it seems like it's a driving force. Like I said, in the study I was looking at, the eToro study, 2019, it said that even in dating profiles, if you have something like I'm in the cryptocurrency or something like that, you're more desirable. So people are looking for these things first,
Wow.
Your looks are cool, but if you don't have any money in the bank, you don't deserve none, right? That's what it said. So I'm just trying to hear what they said. So yeah, it is very interesting the way things are going. It makes dating tough because you're really wondering how to outdo, I guess, whatever the expectation is of that person, which means dating can be expensive. So if you are in the dating process, you're the type of person who dates more than one person, say if you're going 3 dates a week, you could be racking up, $800, $900 in dates.
Yes.
And they could be racking up $800, $900 worth of free food.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes. In the daytime.
In the daytime, right?
Not at night.
No night.
We ain't doing that.
Yeah, I would think it could get very expensive.
And not only very expensive, I think that it also starts off on a premise where you're kind of buying into someone, literally, right? And then I was reading something else in a study in 2019 that said that money is more important than love at this point. So you're in it for money and not as much for love. It's almost a pseudo love because I love you because you're taking care of me.
Wow.
Right. So that means if something, and this is why I think a lot of relationships are breaking up, because if something happens, especially financially, and that money maybe is not coming in and things of that nature, you have nothing to fall back on. Divorce is in the air because it was built off of what you can do for me. What have you done for me lately? Yeah.
Hey, some people are literally looking for a sponsor.
And that's sad.
Well, and that's almost a culture right now, Ruth.
Yeah.
But then you have to find people that are not about that culture because, like Doc said, some of my fondest memories are walking in the park on a rainy evening, stopping for some ice cream, like insignificant to some folks, but significant, meaningful quality time spent that wasn't monetary.
Well, it's different now. It's very different time. And even with the economy, think about it, going out to eat is a lot more expensive than maybe it was before because, all these businesses are coming back. So they're trying to make their money back. So things are a little bit more expensive. So dating is a little bit more expensive in itself, period. Right. So you trying to go take that person to a nice date, nice dinner, a nice restaurant, it's going to be a lot more even before you can get away, maybe going to Applebee's or something like that. And that's still a little bit more pricey than it used to be, right?
Yeah.
So dating just a little bit more expensive just because of the times we're in.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you don't think that if like the romantic date that I had, we had a bottle of wine, we drove to the nature preserve, which was behind the airport, and watched the planes take off, drinking wine, listening to music in the car.
Wait, what else happened? That seemed like
no. People used to say you can't do it anymore, but people used to be able to park back there, and just watch the planes take off.
Yeah, that's because you're on your back.
You know what?
God.
No.
One person,
No.
one person can see the planes.
No.
It was a different time,
It
guys.
was a date. Daryl.
Yes, it was a real date.
And first of all, he spent all his money on the wine, so he ain't no money for nothing else. So he's like, I got to think about a wine. Let's go watch the planes because all I can afford. No, but I really believe it's a different time. I believe it's a different time, and I think that the culture right now is like, you should be doing X. You should be doing, and girls are expecting X to begin with. And that's tough. That's troubling. I mean, but I get it because money, you do need money to live, right? So you can't be broke sometimes, and I get it. You don't want to get into a situation where you're supporting someone, I guess, but I think you need to, like you said, we got to readjust the margins and not make money be so important.
Yes.
Because it has to be built on something more than that. Because that can go at any time. You know, you get hurt at work or something, a car accident, and
anything.
Now you're alone because they're going to find some else with money.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Superficial.
Yes.
Superficial.
Right. And then and go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Daryl.
No, you go. I was about to change topics a little bit. You got it.
Okay. Well, I was thinking of maybe have these first, second dates start out differently before we build up to the wine and dine and, you know, the 5-star restaurant. Let's take a walk in Rittenhouse first and get to know each other. It's doable if we think about it in that way.
Well, I think the whole thing about dating right now is we're still going off of an antiquated way of looking at dating. We're still going off I'm gonna take you out to dinner. I'm gonna take you to the movies. These got the things that people have normally done with are being passed down. But like you said, at this point, dating should be, especially the first couple of dates, should be something more informal, like a cup of coffee or meeting somewhere. It's cold now, so maybe meeting at the mall, right? You can walk around, talk, get some of the food court if you wanted to. It should be more. Dates should be based more around trying to get to know the person you're with, not about as much money they're spending on that experience, right? It should be, but it's tough because people have to retrain their brain to think because you're not really taught how to date, right? Who's taught how to date? You just think, oh, I'm gonna take you to dinner. Like I remember that's what I thought it was. I'm just gonna take you to dinner, or we're gonna go, something like that. We do some fun, and it's not just dinner. It's dinner, miniature golf, or movies. That night is expensive.
Yes.
And she's looking at you the whole night.
And you have to change, like you said, change the way that people think about dating so that if a man says or a woman says, let's go for a walk around Rittenhouse, you know, they're not saying, oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
Exactly.
I want you to take me out to a restaurant.
Well,
so you're talking about changing changing the way people think about dating and what the purpose is.
And the value.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the value.
Yes.
Just because you can spend
what do you mean value?
Because to me, just because you can spend $200 or $300 on me on a date doesn't mean you're a quality person.
Right.
It really doesn't mean that. It means you have money.
Exactly.
But again, that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for that $200-$300 date because that means you have money and I like you a lot more. You know, I definitely like you a lot more than that guy who took me for the walk around the park.
which would be so, if that's how you're weighing it, you're not even looking at the quality of the person.
You're not.
Well, no, because remember, like I said, the value is in what they do for you. And that's why you can be tricked so easily. That's why when you have money, you have options because I can do these things for you, and it's not really putting me out. Like it's nothing to throw $300 at this, but to her, it's everything. So now she's in love with the money or what I can do for her, which begins that to me. That begins that thing where you become really in love with the money, which means I have control now if I have money.
True.
So
because
now I can do.
She's not used to the scripts.
What are they? Not scripts?
The scripts.
The scripts.
Yeah, the script.
That's in
like these script
and something else.
These script ain't got no poop in the top of them. I ain't used to these script. They pitted and everything. But that's real. So people really are falling in love today with illusions, which is why relationships are not working like they should, because they're really based off of things that are fleeting, things that are not grounded in anything more than, it's more of aesthetic, right? Oh, he has money. Like I said, he has money. She has money. That's cool, but what type of person are they? Because that usually comes with a thing where they say where they can exercise their options. If I have the money, if I pay the cost to be the boss, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Now you can't because you do it at risk of losing the position you're in, losing the status you have because of me. And I was talking about earlier where Gabrielle Union said something like she cheated in her first marriage. It's part of it. She cheated in her first marriage due to being the breadwinner. She made more money.
Interesting.
So she felt like she paid the cost to be the boss so she could do her thing. You know, and again, that's very interesting.
No, she cheated because she didn't respect her husband.
I would say
no, but that it goes hand in hand because he was broke. Even though he was an ex-NFL player, so he had money, but he didn't have the money I guess she had. To her, since I have to pay the most of the bills or whatever the case may be, right, it equated to, I don't really respect you. You ain't a man. And you so much of not a man, I'm going to cheat. You know,
and has she grown in her thinking from that? I'm curious as to whether or not she's grown in her thinking because that could be true of her now current marriage as well. If something happens,
that.
You know what I mean,
right. So I didn't hear the whole. I didn't hear the whole thing, and that was my question too. Now, is she saying that I can submit to a man who makes more than me? Because then again, we have to start adjusting the margins or figuring out what they are. Because if your barometer is money, I mean I can respect you, then that's a problem. Right? Because like I said, if he loses his job or he takes a pay cut or you get a big movie and now you make more than him, what does that mean? Does that mean now the balance switched and you have to take the lead and he has to follow you? Like, what does that mean?
And what we're talking about a value system.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And I think your value system should be based off something more concrete.
Of course.
Right. Something that's more solid than something that like money that can come and go, that you can lose, that, you know, what if somebody, you know, hacks your bank account and takes all your money? Then what? Do you lose? Did they steal his respect as well when they stole his money? You know, we need
if you don't change your thinking, yes. If you don't change your thinking, yes.
Right.
It's about the way you think. It's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset. And, you know, how people define respect.
Right. Or quality. Like money doesn't equal quality. Right. And I think I've heard some people say, well, if they made this amount of money, they have to be a quality person. Right. They had to put the work in to get here. They didn't get it by mistake. And again, they may be great in whatever they do to make money, but doesn't mean they're a great mate. They'll make a great husband or a great wife. It doesn't translate that way. It doesn't equate that way.
Very
singular way of looking at things that don't encapsulate the whole picture.
That's right.
Which makes me also think about what about the idea of, you know, coming into this thing together where we are and building it up.
That's one of the things I saw. One of the stats I saw is that nearly 2/3 of all marriages start in debt.
Really?
Yes.
Or broke.
Which
was us. Totally broke.
Right.
Totally broke.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And made the decision to work this together.
That makes sense because the stat I saw from the Pew study, it said that, you know, men and women who are together usually become more financially stable. Like when you come together.
I saw that.
I saw that. Right. When you're operating as partners.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Yes. Mine is yours. Yours is mine. We're going to put money to where it needs to be, and we're going to fix it. And they said those are usually more stable relationships.
Yeah.
When you operate in that way.
I saw that. I think I wrote that down somewhere. Yep.
People in committed
relationships tend to perform well financially. Yes, that's the Pew study you're talking about, right, Carol?
Yes, that's it.
I would attest to that.
See, that's right. It works, but a lot of people are still. It's weird because with men and women both making more money now, especially women, so it's, you know, a little bit more even in the household. Not where back in the day where one person the gap was so big, where maybe the person who made the more money had to take care of more. Now, since we're kind of even, it should be more of a partnership. But it seems like even though pay is more comparable, still that it's a certain group of people that still say that a man should take care of everything and a woman should just save her money for when they break up so she'll have money to leave.
Save her money for the breakup.
You're right, Daryl. That's what I've heard.
I think too, though, that sometimes the women that think that way sometimes are conditioned to think that they need to put money away just in case this breaks up, and they also need to be paid for what else they're doing. They may be still in the traditional gender roles, so they're cooking, cleaning, working, taking care of the kids, getting taken down.
So I get confused when we hear the word traditional, right? Because I'm like, if we're traditional, what you need shoes for, right? You don't need shoes or a watch because there's a clock on the stove. If we're talking about traditional.
Oh Lord.
Because we can't be. It's like it's a buffet. We're picking and choosing what we want from tradition and going forth with that. And it's like I can't necessarily, especially like I said, when people are making about the same amount of money these days. The pay, it's not. I'm not saying it's on par, but I'm saying it's a lot different than it was a long time ago. So something has to. People have to start. And again, if it works for you, that's what I say. If it works for you, it works for you. Because I'm not going to say if someone's like, this works for me. It works for me to pay for everything, or it works for her to pay for it. Cool. But I'm not going to tell people they need to go and do X, Y, and Z. I was reading something on this week. It was Thursday, I think it came out, and the guy was saying, I want to shout out to my wife who does all the cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the kids, and still pays half the bills. And people were going in on him. Like, you're a clown. She's a bigger clown.
Wow.
The women were they put it in a women's group. They just didn't, they were laughing. And I'm like, half of them are single who are laughing, ain't got nobody, or they somebody side joint. If this is working for you, it's okay. I'm not going to say what worked for you is wrong, right? If this is what they're doing for their family, they made their own culture. This is what we do. And if we're happy about it, who am I to say that's wrong?
And that's the piece.
Who am I to say it's wrong?
Decisions.
For me, I truly believe that we should both pool our money to get something better or to fix things. I don't believe in just riding one person to death. But even with that, like, I would also help with the cleaning and help with the kids as well. It wouldn't be like she's doing all this by herself. But that's me. If that's how, because she may want to, if that's what they worked out, cool. For me, I'm gonna help out with the kids and cooking and cleaning. I don't mind that. I just don't think that any one person should be doing anything. But that's for me. Right. In my home, I wouldn't want that.
I agree with that. I think it should be, we should be a team on all fronts.
Right. But remember, on the team, there's a coach. I'm the coach.
What? What?
He finds a way. Hey,
on every team, there's a coach.
So
okay,
what am I,
remember.
Assistant coach?
Yeah, you're assistant coach. Right.
My team.
Somebody got to have veto power here. Okay, we can't go left and right and go 50-50 everything.
But again, it has to be customized to that relationship.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I have a girlfriend, and she and her husband have been married a very long time, and they're financially well-to-do. And she says, Ruth, I just don't check in on a lot of financial aspects because I'm comfortable as long as my needs are met. This is what she says to me. I don't need you. He has all these properties. She says, I don't worry about the rent. He collects it. I said, well, that's interesting. I said, I would like to, know what's happening in my household. She and I have had these conversations. She said, but it doesn't bother her in the least. She sees checks going out for $4,000, different things. And she said, I have every confidence that what needs to be happening is happening. So it varies.
It does.
really does.
Now, the only issue I would say with that would be from a family aspect is you need to know what's going on. Say if something happens to him, so you can kind of pick up.
That's
I'm not saying you're doing it in the trying to see what he's doing and sneak. No. It's like, hey, just kind of let me know how it works in case you can't, because you never know what happens.
Yeah, and that happens.
Goes down.
We've had that. Yep.
I've seen that happen.
She doesn't have a clue.
Relationships. Yes.
Right.
Not a clue.
Yes.
Right.
They don't know where the checkbook is. They don't know what bills need to be paid. Yeah.
What properties need to be collected on, all that type of stuff.
She doesn't even know all of the properties. It's very interesting. So
right. And again, I would just want to know someone to know just in case, if something happened, because again, an accident happens usually accidentally. So you may not know something, and now you're, now the family could be in trouble because you don't know this person owes this and this owes this and this is out. So you just want to know just so that you can keep it going. You can pick it up if that partner can't do it. You want to be able to jump in and do it. Like I said, you don't have to know day to day, but it's giving me a loose.
They don't do that.
Knowledge of it where I can kind of put it together, until you get back or whatever, or if you don't come back. I need to know these things.
Right.
Yeah. You don't know. Every day you leave home, you're not guaranteed to come back.
You don't.
Right. So we can't live in a world of, just our hubris thinking that that person will come home that night. We have to live understanding that it may not. And if that person has that much power, that much stuff that's controlling your life as well, you have to be a part of it. And that's just for family. That's just for your family.
We have had many debates. Totally agree.
Right.
But people look at it differently. They approach it differently. Different account.
Right, absolutely.
Absolutely. Access to different accounts.
I can access all accounts in my house. I'm just saying.
I don't mind the mine, yours, and ours system that a lot of couples have adopted.
Mine, yours, and ours. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yours is for your little stuff that you want to do, and mine is for my big stuff.
There we go. If you're doing a lot of big stuff, that means you got a lot of big stuff saved. So I need to know what's over there. Because there might be some big stuff I want to do too. I might need mine and some of yours to make up for this time.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. I don't know why she would or he would need to have his own. I guess it's people have, but I'm like, it should be what you saving.
What you saving for?
Yeah, what you need? Because whatever you need, you can take from ours. You don't need a yours because you can take from ours.
They're saving for that rainy day that's coming with all those.
That's right.
See, that's what it sounds like. I don't believe in rainy day funds because if it's rainy day, we're gonna pull out an umbrella because we're gonna all right. Okay.
I know one of the things we talk about in couples counseling is close the exits. Close the exit. If you're in this, close the exit.
I like that.
I agree. I agree. Yes. I like that. Look at that.
I like that.
Close the exits. Don't mean lock nobody in the house or nothing. Understand? It's not literally, it's figuratively. Don't lock nobody up or anything.
No, not like that.
Saying close the exit, so I locked in the room. No, we're talking about.
But first send the side drawings out, then close the exit.
Yes, then close the exit.
They gotta go.
Yes. But I know some people don't, but you, like you said, it's whatever the couple agrees on. Because I know some people don't like the mine, yours, and our kind of thing. Some people take that as financial infidelity. If you got your own little stash of money.
That's true.
Right. For what you need a stash for? If there's anything you're doing I don't know about, you cheating.
That's how some people look at it.
That doesn't mean
some people look at it. It doesn't mean I don't wait. But that's what some people think. If you have your own pot of money, you are being unfaithful to me financially.
We touched the nerve, Doc.
You didn't touch no nerve.
Ruth said, that don't mean that.
That don't mean that. It just doesn't mean that.
Yeah, you buy that Snickers bar without me knowing. That's cheating.
Dang.
How dare you have...
Trust me, Darryl. There is one pot over here, and we try to just keep it filled up as much as we can. But within that, we found that it's hard to surprise each other. It's very hard to spend money without the other one knowing, if you will. So it's like, okay, why don't we make some little subdivisions with the one account for that purpose?
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. We're going to technology. I'm trying to surprise you with something. So let's make 2 accounts. I need something that, when I go off and with massage on, I need to be able to do it. And you not know about it.
That's for a nice little present that you didn't expect.
How you not going to know if they took some money out? They be like, I was going to buy some golf clubs or something. And then they surprise you with flowers. It's ways you can do it. It's easy.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's easy. What are we talking about here?
I think about that.
What are you talking about?
I didn't think about lying, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the surprise part is any more surprise.
That could cause a problem, though, because that could cause a problem because you're looking for golf clubs. You don't see golf clubs. Where did that money go? You didn't buy golf clubs. Where did that money?
That's not true. Because if you are tripping over golf clubs not being in the house that they said they were going to buy, if you're tripping over it, that usually means there's something else going on. Because if you're not thinking anything, you'll be like, he didn't get the golf clubs then.
But that's not honest. You're not. Where did it? It's not honest.
No. You would not. You would think he didn't get them. Maybe he didn't pick them up yet. Maybe they're in the car.
I wouldn't think
you would not. Exactly. So that means there's something else going on to make you think in a negative space, right? If you're thinking in a negative space, it's because of something else, right?
No, I just expect if you bought golf clubs, then we have the golf clubs here somewhere.
Right. So should I put them in a room so you can see them? Should I put them on a bed? Well, then that's weird. Okay, that's weird. Hey, I might have left my golf club at the golf place, the golf course at my locker. I don't necessarily have to bring them home. And if you're searching for them, now you ain't get no gift anyway. Your gift that I have for you, I'm taking back. I throw it in the trash.
He's so mean.
I know.
Hey, cutie, your dad is a meanie.
Send me a picture of the golf club.
I just want to. You said you bought them, right?
Yes.
You know what I bought? Some time to myself, because now I see you have some issues. Don't be clocking when I bring something in this house. We got some other problems. I'm gonna take some more money out now.
But Daryl, you would expect her to have done the same thing if she said she bought something. Yes.
First of all, I wouldn't, because I don't. You do what you do. I'm not micromanaging you over some golf club. If you said you went out and bought some shoes, you bought some shoes. I don't know where they at. I'm not looking for them. Know why? That's insignificant to me. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trip over that.
What if it was $1,200 shoes and you never see $1,200 shoes?
Yeah, some red
again, I wouldn't know what $1,200 shoes look like for a woman. So what you got on your feet might be it. I don't know. So I'm not tripping unless there was a reason to trip.
But you wouldn't be curious?
Yeah.
Like, let me see those shoes.
No.
Yeah.
Because she can. Wait a minute. Time out. I don't care what you buy or wear. I'm probably think it's ugly anyway. So please don't ask me. I hope you don't ask me. Okay? Because I don't feel like lying today. So again, I'm not. If you said you were taking, again, unless there was a reason for me to think that you were using money for something other than, then I'm not tripping. You're going to do what you do, right? I'm not going to trip about, I didn't see the shoes come in, because I'm not looking for them to come in.
Okay.
Right? I'm not looking for them. Unless it was a whole bunch of things, it would have to be, like I said, it would usually be maybe after a while, you said you were getting these things, I've never seen anything. I never seen. That's maybe when it may pop up. But again, it would have to be a chain of something to make me feel a certain way about something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now, if you start coming in with gifts and I ain't see no money leave our pot, I got a question then. Where that bracelet come from? Those look like $1,200 shoes. I checked the account, ain't nothing go out. Now we have a reason to ask some questions.
No, because she could have friends that are buying her birthday gifts and things like that.
Right, it ain't her birthday. I know when your birthday is. Ruth, I know when her birthday is. It wasn't a birthday.
I've had that happen where you get a nice pair of shoes from a friend or whatever.
Hey, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? So let me know when your woman come home with a nice pair of shoes from a friend, and that's okay. Where they do that at?
If it's your birthday.
Where they do that at? Where you do that at?
Yeah,
But again, and is it wrong for me to say where the fucking shoes come from? Is that wrong?
Yes, that is wrong.
Is it wrong for me to tell you to walk the shoes back over to where you got them from? Is that wrong? Ain't no other man buying no shoes. Only person buying shoes in this house is me.
Well, what if he worked at a shoe store and he bought his friends some shoes for their birthday? What's the problem?
Oh, well, the birthday is different, right?
That's
But
what I'm
again,
saying.
I still may question why this nigga buying you shoes. Who this? Let me go talk to Tyrone about these shoes he's just gifting away. $1,200 worth of shoes. What he want to return? Because ain't nothing coming back. You know what? That'll be the last birthday present he got you because you would not talk to him no more. Tell him thank you and goodbye forever.
Daryl is Daryl. Tell you that.
So Daryl just made a point. So another study that I saw says that regardless of the happiness level in the relationship, money is a topic that couples will constantly argue about or disagree on.
Right. Right.
So
Whether
everything
how
else
you're
in the
spending it.
relationship could be going well, but the finances could be a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what? Do you dissolve it or do you try to come together again and work through the hardship?
And it goes back to what did you get into it for? If money was a driving force, then this could be very difficult to stay in when the person cannot, continue that level of where you're at, that Jones level that you're at. If you can't continue there, that could be a big problem.
That's true.
Yes. But sometimes you have to revisit the conversation. And
I think
go ahead.
No, I would say just like everything in a relationship, you need to revisit on a regular basis because we grow, we change. Like I said, income, especially right now, things are different. Things cost more. It may be something you do, like you may have a shoe addiction that you like, and that may be a problem now. It wasn't before, but now the shipping on the shoes costs as much as the damn shoes. So we have to slow down on the shoes. We ain't been outside in 2 years, but you still been buying shoes to walk around the house in. We may have to talk about this.
And wearing socks and slippers so they don't fit anymore, actually.
You understand me? So there could be some things that have to be readjusted due to the time or whatever the case may be. Or if someone's like, I want to take up a new hobby, or I want to start something new as a business. Well, can we afford it? And I see that happens a lot. People are trying to do a lot of independent, become business owners, have their own businesses. And now we want to take money from the home to try to start a business. But now, do I want to struggle here with, paying these bills for you to start your business that may not yield any returns for 3 to 5 years? Like, do we want to do this? That's something big right now. Everybody wants to be entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to go out on their own. But can your family sustain that?
Right.
And I put up, financial nakedness, because we're talking about, being honest, like really honest about what we have, what you have, and what we have, and what we want to do with it,
and living within our means.
Right. That's the hard part.
That's a hard part. Very hard. That's
well, it's tough, right? Like I said, it's tough because the mindset and I'm going to speak for a man, when you come into a relationship, if you say I'm broke, you don't deserve none, right? So.
Hey, Facebook user. No, everyone is not built for that.
They're not.
Right. Who is Facebook user? Could you say your name? We don't know who you are. We just want to shout you out. But so it makes it difficult. So now this is why people are kind of almost forced to lie, right? You're forced to front. You're sometimes you're forced to maybe take people on dates that you really can't afford. What's up, Cam? You're forced to take people on dates that you can't afford, right? You're doing things that are outside. So you're eating beans for a week because you took this girl out to this date that you really couldn't afford. That's the problem. Or you're putting yourself in debt because you're using credit cards to take someone out. But that's where we're at right now.
But you're scared to tell what you really can afford. Like I said, you're
scared. Right.
Yeah, you're scared to tell what you can really afford.
Because you're going to be judged by that, as we talked about, with the quality of dating you further.
Right. And you can be a great person. You can be a great person, but you almost got to buy in.
There are a lot of great broke people.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I found one way back in the day, but
bless her heart. Bless her heart.
No, I'm serious. People shouldn't put the value on monetary value. It just it irks me. I know people who don't have the
This is with creativity you can hook anyone.
Right. So why they are dating multiple times a week because they're broke and people know it. They got to keep dating because they can't nobody keeping them. Because right now money is a driving force. No, it's sad to say because usually before you could be more creative. Like you said, we could be creative with walks. Let's meet on South Street or meet down by the waterfront or somewhere and have a nice maybe like get an ice cream or something. $3, good date, great conversation, scenery. It was fine. But today it seemed like people expect a lot more of you. They expect, like, even I know from my dating scene, sometimes you'll meet someone and they'll be like, well, let's go to, the most expensive restaurant out there. I'll say, hello, what'd you say? My phone, hello, I hang up.
Right. I'm going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
A long tunnel.
Right. And it's really interesting that you would, because my thing is, if you ask to go out, it should be on you, right? If you're asking, whoever asks for the date. I
don't mind that mindset. I don't mind that.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's how I feel. Like you ask me to go somewhere and then you want to ask me and for me to pay. That's weird for me. Okay. And I mean, some people may do that. Yeah. But I figure like if you're asking this is where you want to go, then you took the lead all of a sudden, somehow, some way. So do you, boo-boo?
You boo-boo.
And I think that just keeps it fair so that, people aren't asking like, yo, I want to go to, Hawaii. All right, cool. I know you ain't looking at me to pay for
it. Financial nakedness, and I guess revealing what you have.
And you should, because I think that'll help. And it's tough. And again, you're going to get, I think as a man, you'll get a lot of rejections if you say you can't do a lot or maybe you don't have a lot. I think you will get a lot of rejection. But again, it's better for you to get the rejection up front than for her to find out later you don't have nothing and leave you. And it's better because you can weed out who's for you, You can weed out who's for you.
Yes. Because now you're spending time getting to know the person, not their pockets.
Yes.
Right. And that's again, that's why people are getting in relationships and not knowing the person. Because it's based off of the fun we had, the trips we had, where, when you're basing it around doing a whole bunch of fun things, the conversation usually probably is not big because you're doing something. Mm-hmm. So when you really get to the point that you like, I don't like this person, they can't even talk, can't have a conversation. so when you do get to the part where you do the walks with the ice cream, it's just a quiet walk. You just
That's terrible. Oh, we gotta go back to the old days.
Yes. Cam said it worked. She married him. Okay.
That's what I said too, Cam. It is very possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. But again.
Hey, Robin.
Oh, Robin married the person.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Somebody plays tennis and married the person.
You don't know which one, right?
I'm not sure which one. If that was Cam or Robin. But yeah, it doesn't. It really takes something away from learning about the person.
It does. If
I
don't know how many people are gonna play tennis today. They got their hair and then 19-inch nails and eyelashes. I don't know if they could play with all that on, so it makes it difficult. So,
so different. You're so
okay. Yeah. Right. There's a lot going on.
I thought it was.
And
depending
on how that BBL healed, you might not be able to do a lot of jumping around.
That's true. You can't play tennis like that.
Your butt be down behind your knee. You jump around too much.
Different dance times.
I saw something on Facebook one time where a guy had posted for the rest of his dates, he's going swimming. Because then you get to see what's real and what's not.
Listen, you got to push him in the pool.
Yeah.
You got to push him in the pool to see what's real, what's not. But again, to me, I again, have a woman dress us up is fine. I'm not really like, go now. Whatever you do, you feel comfortable in, it's fine. As long as you are comfortable without the stuff as well.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, as long as it's like a crutch, something that you just put on for when you want, but it doesn't have to be you. Like you shouldn't have to wake up before me to get your makeup and stuff on. So I see you with makeup on. You know what I mean? You getting up at 3 o'clock because I get up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you all made up already. That's weird. What happened? Why you got makeup on at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I want you to see.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to see the real you as well. You know, see who you really are. And I need to make sure you're comfortable being who you are, because then that's going to translate to you if you have kids or something like that too. Like I want them to be comfortable, and I don't want them to see you being uncomfortable with who you are, because then they'll pick up on that as well.
Very true.
Good point. Good point. Mm-hmm.
So one thing that most people don't talk about is their money story.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, it has to do with what and how you learned about money.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a parent who threw the bills in the trash when they came, what did you learn?
Bills in the trash.
Bills in the trash.
Well, that's a
good. If you grew up and the electric or gas was off every month, it might not be that important to pay for gas and electric.
What is it? A couple of nights in the dark. It ain't mean that we can make a game out of it.
Not a big deal.
Go to sleep early.
All scary stories. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Talk about your money story, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be different than your partner's.
Very good.
But it tells you, how they think about money.
You're right. And that's something you need to know early too, because that may help some of the arguments down the road. Because you get with someone and you always like, why the bill's always in the trash? They ain't supposed to be there. That's what I knew.
Right. Yes.
And you be like, no,
that's how my mama did it. That's how my mama did it.
Exactly. And now you have some intrinsic things that are different due to you not talking about them early enough. So that's real. That is definitely real.
Money story. Yep.
What's your money story? I got a new question to add. Yeah, so your name, what would you like to do? What's your money story?
They're going to be like, what?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
You want the real one or the one I'm going to make up for you?
No, when they say, what's that? I'm like, thank you. You let me know everything I need to know. Thank you. I'm going to go now.
That's a good point. Very good point.
And I agree with Daryl that it could cut down on some of the arguments later. Because if I know that bills in the trash is something that you grew up with, I might intercept the bills. Catch them first.
Right.
Catch them midway.
Right. Or say, listen, I'm good at, I'll take care of it and categorize or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm good at. Right. And then we'll figure out, because you can help each other out in that way. Because basically money in the trash means I'm just not strong at bills and how to control them. So let me help you. And that's what your partner should do. Where you're weak at, they should help you get better at, help put you through. And that would be great. But if you learn it early, it makes it a little less of a struggle when you get in the middle and the lights are off. Because when the lights are off, we're not going to be calmly talking about the bills. It's not going to be a calm conversation in the dark. Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah. So we want to nip it in the bud before we get to the dark, so that we don't have to have that dark day.
That's right. So it could be, it could be a good money stories, or it could be horror stories that make you do something different. Because sometimes you do what you learn, but sometimes you try to go to the opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
Like what Camp is talking about. She paid bills because they weren't paid when she was younger.
Yes. Yes. Or learn to rewrite your story, your financial story together.
Yes.
Because we're done in a really weird way. I know my grandparents struggled. They paid what they could. It was that kind of, we're doing the best we can.
Yes.
But with your own finances, you want to make sure you're on top of things a little bit more than that. So to talk about it to get to that point. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I needed to do my homework.
So, that's something that should be added to the beginning conversations.
Yeah.
Right. It's so many. It seems like it's so convoluted. You have so many things more to think about and deal with today, I feel, than you did in the past. Right? There's so many more questions you have to ask.
And I think that back in the day, those things were answered for you. Because if someone came to call on your daughter, you knew what their financial situation was.
Right.
You knew what kind of money their family had and the kinds of things that they did, and you would know more about the person's finances when you get with them.
So it's very interesting. So it means that it kind of is similar to back in the day now and then, because money is basing where the woman is going. Right? It's kind of the same, because it wasn't about how nice they would treat her or how good they were.
True.
We knew, like you said, we knew their financial makeup. We knew their portfolio. The family had this, and they had this many pigs or cows or this much land, and they can, they could do this, that, and the next. And my daughter will be financially secure there. Right? But we didn't know what that came with.
Right.
Inside that house. We didn't know how she would really be treated as far as personally. We knew she would be taken care of, but we didn't know what that looked like.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. And then I think she had it. So the big difference is she really had accepted back in the day due to not maybe having access to her own money. Today, I think a big reason for divorces are women have access to their own money too. So when you start acting up, she's like, I'm out. I'm going back outside. I can afford to. I can afford to.
I'm going to tap my stash.
Right.
Yes. Right. Girls Trip 2023.
Yes.
And again, options. I hear options again.
That's the biggest thing. You have so many options, and they're all at your fingertip.
Wow.
You can order and again, fingertip ordering and money are just you can give what you want. Because you got money and you got like a Maybach on your profile, and you hit somebody up and they see that Maybach, they're gonna respond. And you could fly her out. You could flew her out, she'll be flued out.
Wow. Flew her out.
Flued out.
I just
And that's another question. I'm like, how many times have you flued out this month? You gotta ask these new people.
You do?
When was the last time you was flued out?
Wow. No,
it's tough out here.
We gotta do something with this day and time.
Well, this is where it's going. So you have to just kind of figure out how you're going to navigate the new landscape. You know what I mean? And luckily, you don't have to worry about it. You two is just some different situation.
Us dinosaurs.
Yeah, just stay.
Yeah, I'm not getting flued here.
Yeah.
Trained nowhere. I stay right here.
If the worst thing I had to deal with was plastic on my phone, that wouldn't be bad. We all got problems, you understand? It's different.
They're all different.
So how do you have these conversations?
That's a good question, Doc.
You know what's funny, Doc? I think the conversations are very difficult because people are not used to real conversations to begin with, right? And then when you meet someone, I think you use that in the mindset that I don't want to get so heavy so quick, right? I just want to have fun for a little bit to see if I like them. And I think that's a mistake. Right? That's a serious mistake, because if you do like them, but then they have a whole bunch of things like money or whatever's not the way you like it, now you're in a conundrum, because you're like, well, I like them, but they can't afford me. Should I stay? Should I go? But if you ask these questions in the beginning, it kind of gives you a better mindset if you want to go forward. Like, I can go forward with this person. We're kind of alike on these ways, or kind of handle things the way maybe I would. So it's tough. You got to figure a way to be honest in the beginning.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so tough. It's so tough because to get some, you usually got to lie. So it's tough.
She always back at it.
You know, I knew I had a male friend back in the day who was doing okay, you know, for a young guy, and he had a really nice car, and he would have his boy be the driver. His boy would be driving the car, and he would hit on girls from the passenger seat just to get an idea where the girl's mind is at.
Wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He really upped his game.
Very interesting.
Yes. So he turned down a few women based on them, you know, trying to talk to his boy because of the car.
Ah, got
it. Nice. Smart.
Mm-hmm. And then find out that it's his car and kind of trying to switch lanes.
Try to switch back. Right.
Interesting. So you got to try some of these little tests out, maybe. Maybe you have to test them out a little bit.
Yeah, when I think of test them out, it ain't about the car, but we're different. I'm just saying, kind of different.
No, I'm serious. Like maybe you know, suggest the walk in the park, even though you can afford the 5-star restaurant. Right. Suggest it and see how they react.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that's great. So for me right now, that's one thing that's really big. So if I'm talking or you meet someone and, you know, we talk about meeting up, if anyone says anything like, you know, some expensive restaurant or, you know, I mean, they want to go something crazy, I'm already done. Right. Because I want someone that's like, listen, to at least think about each other's budget in the sense that, hey, let's just try to go. I might not even like you. Why am I taking you out if I don't like you? I don't get it. Like, how many times do we pay for something we don't like? We don't. If I don't like it, I give it back. So I don't want to pay for something I don't like. So before, I would like to do something like, again, meet for coffee, meet for, you know, something that's real nice and light, like Ruth said, something nice and light, where we kind of sit there and get to know each other, see how our vibe is together, see if I can like being in your presence. Right. Because it could be, you know, within the first 3 minutes, I don't like talking to this person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want to sit there for a whole meal to do this. Now you ruin my meal and my night, and I got to sit here, I'm being held hostage. No. So, you know, I'd rather someone say something like, hey, let's meet at the mall. So I can meet at the mall.
Uh-oh, Daryl just froze on that one.
Uh-oh.
Okay, he's back. Maybe he's not.
Oh, no. But when you're talking, you know,
you're back.
I agree that these discussions have to happen early. Like a lot of the ones we talk about, they need to happen early on.
Mm-hmm. You know? And honestly, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you know, if you don't want to talk about your money story because it's a horror story for you, and it's difficult to talk about, then you know you can talk about your values.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. That's another avenue.
Yes, that's another way to talk about it. But you need to know what they are yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what they are yourself. And here we are back to talking about knowing yourself and so that you can share it with someone else.
And convey that, right. And be able to even have a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can't hear Daryl.
We can't hear you.
Mm-hmm. I told him that big mic didn't work. Big mics don't work. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about, you know, discussing your values, it's not just money don't mean nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that as soon as the right situation arrives, money means a whole lot.
That's right. So let's have an honest conversation at the door about it.
Yes.
How do you value it? Mm-hmm. Is it your all in all? You know, exactly. What if I lose my job? What if you lose your job? What if we take ill? Let's have these discussions.
Yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm,
So that, you know, at least there's a little bit of understanding about how each of you think about money, and then you can decide, can we work on something together with these two different value
mhm.
systems?
Can we come together and build something with it? Yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's so important.
it really is. It really is. But it, you know, people have a hard time with these discussions.
Hmm.
They have a hard time.
Because I think people think that it just makes them more vulnerable. And honestly,
Yes.
to me, to have a solid relationship of any sort, you have to be vulnerable. At
Yes. I
some
think
point, you have to be vulnerable.
exactly. And Camp said that
There
financial
it is. Yes,
vulnerability.
vulnerability. That's exactly what I was
Mhm.
thinking. Let's
Yes.
open up. Let's talk about all of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People are
And a
so.
lot of times, though, for men, that means putting your. Oh, I shouldn't even say for men.
Mm,
I'd say for people in general,
mm,
putting, you know, that fear of being judged
mm,
aside.
mm. Yes, or that ego
Yes. Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can have those real conversations.
Hmm.
You know, when you're not trying to impress or put
Yeah.
on a face.
Yep. And as Daryl said, trying to pretend with taking them out on these expensive dates, then you find yourself in a situation financially.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a connection with anybody. So
Exactly.
where does that end? Where does that end? Hmm.
Yeah, you spent a few $100s on
Hmm.
2 dates, and now you can't do your basics.
Yes.
Like, what sense does that make? You can't even now you can't even invite them to your house because your gas and electric is off.
Exactly. Or your fridge is empty and they, might want to go in and get something to drink. And they're like, oh my.
Yes, yes.
So you have to not pretend. The pretending's got to go. It's got to go. Because at some point you're going to get found out.
All the time.
Yes. Which is why,
All
again, back in
the
the day,
time.
it was nice to come in at 0-0 and let's build this thing up.
Mm-hmm,
No pretense. We know what we're working with.
Okay. Now, did you guys have those conversations in the beginning?
We did. And I think we did because although we had menial jobs at the time, of course, 15 and 16,
Right.
you had
Yeah.
your first, second jobs. We valued talking, as Camp said, about how to build something together from the door,
Mhm. Okay.
financially, relationship wise, job prospect wise in the future. So we really had goals, even at that age. I remember us saying, you know what? Let's start saving so that we can get an apartment.
Mm.
We started early with that, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember vividly of, I don't know, I think we had dollar stores then. It was something like it, Walgreens, whatever it was,
Woolworth.
Woolworth, that was
Woolworth.
really cheap. I remember
Mhm.
us buying things for our first apartment, not even having an apartment. But I remember whenever we got a little extra money in our pays, buying things for the house. I had my whole
Mhm.
kitchen, everything ready. Hadn't even found an apartment.
Okay. Okay.
But I had bought like my dishes and it motivated us. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Hmm.
started at go and just kept
Okay.
following up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it
And the
should be.
values have to be the same. There were some
Mm.
equally yoked values going on there.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Definitely. And if they're not the same, have,
Mhm.
having these discussions about where we can meet in the middle.
Yes, exactly. I remember those things. I mean, is that what you remember back in the day of like talking about these things or?
Mhm. Yes, talking about these things. And it really did, like you said, started with talking about goals,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
mhm,
Financial goals. Mm,
financial goals.
yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because once you start talking about the goals, you have to start talking about how we gonna get
How we
there.
gonna get to these goals? Exactly. Not just pie in the sky dreams,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I don't believe in pie in the
No,
sky.
no. I don't believe in that either.
No, we set goals and we
Mhm.
take action to make goals happen.
That's right. I want to see some work put in. Right.
Yes.
Talk about things and work together. Exactly.
Yes, can.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's not a thought for a lot of couples,
No.
because they're just thinking about being together.
You're right. And much of that together seems to be on, like Daryl's saying, on a superficial level, even. Like
Mhm.
today, right now. Like, what can I
Yes,
get out of you? How much can I
yes,
get?
yes, yes.
It's very sad to me.
It is very sad. It is very sad. It's very sad. It's like we're just going to be together. All right. So what is going to happen next? Or what are we going to do once we're together?
They don't think that far.
No,
That's too
no.
far. They don't
Yes.
think that far.
Which is why when those crucial conversations come up, it 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 can really destroy the relationship
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they haven't even talked about the things that make them them.
Hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
they're the value systems, how you were raised, the things that you think about money and finances, and how you set goals and everything has to do with how you've come up.
It does. It truly does. And the work ethic and all of those things that go with that financial piece.
Hmm. Yes. So if you don't have those kinds of conversations, when you start talking about the gas got cut off, you don't really you don't understand why, because you don't understand your partner's value system,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it it could lead to all kinds of trouble in the relationship.
Very true. Very true. I know of several that have dissolved over issues like that.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, outside of cheating, finances are a big reason to leave.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know that, for me, spending my whole paycheck every time I get it is how I live.
Mm.
You
Right.
know, I don't
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow, so I'm gonna spend all my money.
Right. Right.
How are you gonna how are you gonna have some goals with me?
You feel me? Like if I go in a room and it's all shoes and shoes are still coming in, I'm like, how does this?
Can we pick another item?
Right.
How we?
Right.
How do we have a room full of shoes? I got to get. If we move, we got to make sure we get a room for the shoes as well. That's that could be tough.
But if there was a discussion about those shoes and it's
Right.
okay within your means,
That's
and
right.
you
Changes,
found a
right.
few bargains, it's
Mhm.
That's
okay.
right.
But
Yes.
again,
So think about this a situation where you do get with someone, and maybe by yourself it was the shoes were no problem, but you get together, maybe you get a house. Now shoes could become a problem. Could that person now say I can't get as many shoes, or I have to back off on the shoes, or they feel like, well, I'm still going to do what I was doing before you because I shouldn't be doing worse with you than I was without you.
Mm.
Can you make that change to say, due to my situation is different, you may not be able to do all the things you used to be able to do because now you have a house, you have something else to take care of that maybe was more than you were paying before, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But can you see that? Like you said, can you see it and understand that you not being able to buy shoes has nothing to do with nothing more than we have more now. So it's more. We don't have the extra you may have had before.
But those are the kind of conversations you have. Like, look, babe, you gotta buy one pair of shoes a week, not 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person might say, "All right, can I do 2?" Like,
Well,
we'll do
I'm like,
2
you know
and a
what?
layaway.
You know what? And I'm a reasonable person. I'm gonna say, you know what? You can do 2. We just won't have lights the months you do the 2. Okay, I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm with you. I'm here for you.
But that's a discussion again.
Yes, that's a discussion.
You want to walk in the dark.
But hopefully, if you're with the right person, again, they have that mature understanding. Okay, it's not that now that I'm with you, I'm doing worse. It's that my priorities have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, like I said, can you see that? Can you see
Right.
it? Sometimes we can't see outside of ourselves.
True.
We don't see what we're really putting into it. All we know is that, wait a minute, I used to be able to
True.
by myself. Now with you, and I can't. And I feel like we're doing better because we have this house now. So how are we doing better, but I feel worse because I can't do what I was doing before?
I've heard that.
And that's mindset. You understand?
I've heard that in couples counseling. Yeah,
Right.
I've heard
Right. That's mindset,
That is mindset. I agree. That's mindset.
Yes.
And that's a difficult one. That's hard.
It is. And that's it is mindset, and that's what we'll talk about. That's what we would have to talk about in therapy. Like, are you really doing worse? Or is that a distorted belief?
Right.
What's the evidence?
What's success to you? What is success?
Exactly.
Because if that house wasn't what you deemed a success, and you did it because of your partner, now that house is not looked at as we're doing better.
Right.
I'm okay. We got a house, and I don't have shoes. I'm not happy with this.
Yeah, so right. That's a mindset. That's a mindset.
And that is one of those discussions that you could have in the beginning too. If one of those dates when you're at the house and you see the shoe room, it's like, hey, you have a lot of shoes. What's that all about?
So what date is this that we get? Is it the first date we get to see the shoe room? What date?
No, you don't see it on the first date.
No.
You don't see that shoe room right away.
No, not right away.
No.
Well, what are we waiting for?
What would we say, Doc?
I don't know.
First of all, you're not coming to my house on the first date. That's just not happening.
I mean,
there is no Netflix until here.
We need to get this all out the way in the beginning. We planning for something more, so we might as well.
Yeah,
what
am
I waiting for? I don't understand what we're
waiting till
I'm spending. Listen, I'm spending money now. I don't understand what we're waiting for.
You got to spend a little more first, okay? And he went out there. You got to spend a little more for that. But people think this way. It's very mind-boggling to me sometimes, though. Like I have another friend who husband purchased her the most gorgeous house, beautiful, beautiful home. And he's in the contracting world, so did it to her expertise liking.
Okay.
And she became unhappy with that home.
Oh, wow.
Why?
And she could never really put into words when I would have this discussion with her about why, but she wanted something bigger. Maybe that's one reason. And that house was a substantial size, but she wanted something larger, so forth. The husband purchased another home for her, sold that home, and he's so much older now, although he's a contractor, it's very hard for him to get to doing the work of this second home. And now she's caught like in a quandary about it. Like, I'm unhappy because he won't fix the house. But you had your home and it was all fixed to your liking. So you said, but she wanted something different. The mindset switched again that I'm unhappy. Went out and did it.
Some people are just never happy.
That's where we are now. And I'm like, you need to just sit in that undone house and think.
That's your punishment.
That is your punishment. Face the wall, one of the many walls in there, and think about yourself with this. But, that's just another example of how it switches for people. And he's resentful because of what happened with the first house.
Of course.
He's now feeling, I can never please you. I can never please you.
Right. I would feel that way too. Feel like she's never happy.
So that one's interesting to me.
And that sounds like something within.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
So, lots of levels for it. Lots of levels.
Yes. But we know that just like with everything else, poor communication can lead to, finances being the ruin of your relationship. Now Neil is frozen.
I'm back.
Are we all back? We're all back.
Yes, we're
there
all
we
back.
go.
Something's
All right.
going on tonight. I don't know.
Yes. But what I was saying is we know that poor communication, just like in any other area of our relationship, if we have poor communication, it can definitely lead to the ruin of the relationship. So you
Poor
have to communicate about the finances.
Yeah, but poor communication and poor finance definitely relationship over. Relationship over, done. Not gonna work. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning.
Oh my gosh. And wait, does that financial vulnerability come into, or the nakedness is what you said, come into disclosing your credit scores?
Yes, because if one of my goals, if we're like taking this relationship to another level, and one of my goals is to purchase something like a house or a boat or
whatever
property, and your credit score is 200, like
how we gonna do that?
Yeah, how we gonna do that?
But understand, you can have a good credit score and still be broke. I'm just letting you know.
Oh yeah, yes, for sure.
750. I ain't got no money in the bank.
Listen again.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And you can have it the other way around, where you have money and your credit is trash.
It's low, right?
Yeah, we're back.
Yes, so it could be either way. But if you're making plans and setting goals with a partner, those
very
things
true.
Are important.
But I've heard that the credit score matters too now in that discussion.
Very interesting. Listen, I need to know, can you talk? Can you formulate a hypothesis on different things? Can we, that's more important. Because again, if the lights get cut off, we can talk to each other. You know what I mean?
We can talk to each other in the dark.
At least we can talk to each other in the dark. But if we can't talk in the dark, we're gonna really have problems. I can make you laugh with the lights off, but if you can't talk, you're just sitting there angry at each other,
Yes.
So it's tough though. Like I said, it's really tough that relationships really a lot of them seem like they're based off of finance from the beginning. Finance from the beginning. Like I said, you're asking about credit scores when you meet people.
Well,
it's insane. But I mean, it's kind of, aligned with the times and how things are. But it's really making these loveless relationships, these relationships that are more out of responsibility.
Really crazy today.
Yeah. Just jump in and start talking. There you go, Ruth.
That's why they have those websites like sugar daddies and sugar babies, and so people just set it off financially right from the door.
So, and I can respect that
right from the beginning.
I can respect that due to what you're getting into at that point, right? Like that's the conversation doesn't need to be had because you're here. So all you're doing is setting up your parameters of what this looks like, what a sugar baby looks like to me, what you're going to have to do. So when you come in, hey, she's going to be like, she needs X, Y, and Z. You're going to say yeah or no. Just keep talking, Ruth, whenever you want.
Back,
just go ahead.
But on a delay. Oh, now she's going back out.
Yeah, she just pop in. Can you hear me? Ruth, relax. We can't. Slow down.
But yeah, I agree with that. With the, if that is what the relationship is supposed to be all about, then let it be that. And even, the funny thing is, even in those relationships, they don't always stay that way. One person may, want to do something different, and the relationship starts to get messed up.
They think it's going to be a pretty woman moment. It's not. It's not. She's like, no freebies. What are you talking about? What? No, it's going to cost you.
Yes, exactly.
Sugarbaby.com where you met me. But it's so funny that those relationships are still more honest than most relationships.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
I
it
would
kind of
agree.
takes the lying off the table for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, you can get caught up sometimes if the person doesn't have what they say they have or do what they
Right.
say they're going to do. Because sometimes I hear
Right.
where those things, they'll fly you out or whatever the case may be, and it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
like they kind of expressed or explained it to you in the,
Mm-hmm.
before you got there. So,
Right.
that
You
does
get there, the
happen. But at
lights
least,
are off.
right, but at least those relationships. So this is a shack. This ain't a mansion. This is you picked me up in a Nova. Whoa, what is going on here? So,
Exactly.
but like it does kind of and that's what they, it's funny now. I'm
I don't
thinking
know
about
what's
if I, you know what's happening. You
can,
wait to talk. Yeah, she moved in slow motion.
Yes.
Um, I think that, if I would create a dating site, I would have it with whatever parameters I'm looking for, like looking for love without money, whatever. I would have something like that so people can know where they could go. That's what we should have these
oh,
days. We
should I be
have
talking?
different. Go ahead.
You're on a
I'm talking, but
delay.
nothing's happening.
We can
Oh,
hear
it's
you, but
happening.
you're on a delay.
I
We
don't know
can
what's
hear you.
happening.
We don't either.
We we can hear you though. But she's not hearing us, I think. That's what I think is happening. She's not hearing us.
Gotcha. And
Mm.
maybe she turned her mic off, but like that's why I reset mine. Somebody called and knocked my mic off, so I had to reset.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
She moved them glasses one more time. But
Am I here?
I think
I don't know what's happening.
I think that there need to be sites to say, exactly what the people are looking for on that site. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Like, so that I'm on here and we're like-minded. Like, I'm looking for a person that does X, Y, and Z. That might be beneficial, and it may help people to navigate dating now because you can go where you're looking, what you're kind of looking for, kind of, and then go from there. Like one for broke guys who still want some coochie, right? We need something for everybody.
Broke boys who deserve some.
There you go. That's what I need. We need a different thing so you kind of know, and for her to know, because it gotta be tough for both to kind of know where to go. And I think even in the beginning, you're probably not saying a lot, trying to feel them out, trying to feel what kind of person they are, before you really divulge anything. And that makes it tough. Like I said, you're really being a representative at this point. People are really making representatives today because you're afraid to say anything wrong.
Yes.
Like, whoa, man, I couldn't even pay them bills. What you say? I said I knew the Buffalo Bills was playing tonight. You can't even you can't even be honest about certain things because their response, you can will show you if it's an affirmative, negative that you can do this or not do this, or that they like this or don't like this. So it's like a whole bunch of lying going on right now. And the problem is, even if you have money, you lying in too because you're probably not gonna keep them. You're using that money to have an experience for a little bit, and then you move on to the next. So
or you're showing the money.
I just wrote
that
I'm having some issues.
You really have no intentions of actually spending it on anyone or sharing it with anyone. But that's how you catch people.
Right.
So that could be an issue as well.
Right. All right. So even like I said, the Pew study said in 2019 said that money is definitely still one of the biggest attractors these days. Money is definitely a big attractor. So again, that's and that can look very different. Like I said, if you have a nice car, you may have a nice car and live in a shack, but that car will get them. Or you dress nice, you have on the names that people recognize, and that will get them. So that's how people can lie with things, lie with their dressing or the cars or whatever the case may be. And that attracts women. You see all the time. I see on like YouTube all the time where guy may pull up in a Ferrari and he's outside walking around. She's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And then, oh, is that your car? And then they want to talk to him after they see. They change on the dime when they see and think this is going to change their life, because what they see is lottery ticket. They see you as a lottery ticket. That's crazy.
And that's what my friend was saying back in the day. He know that most of the women that he pulled will only talk to him because of the kind of car he drove.
Right.
So yeah, man, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, and because you don't know if they really want you for you or because of what you seem to have.
Right. And that's what I said. It's tough today to understand if a person wants you or they're looking for, something to support whatever way of life they're looking to have. And this is why I think the more smaller type dates in the beginning, where you're getting to know the person outside of everything else, are very important, because that's the only thing you can really stand on when things get crazy.
And having those conversations about money too will give you an idea what the person thinks.
Right.
Because they may not say outright, I only stopped to talk to you because you were driving a Ferrari, but other clues. You could get other clues from these conversations.
Well, listen, if you have a Ferrari, understand they stopped to talk to you because of the Ferrari.
just go ahead. Just go with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Go with that first, okay? Unless they pull up in a Ferrari too, just think it has something to do with you were driving. Okay? I'm just going to say that, because I know my first Benz was a magnet. You didn't have to work at all. You just pulled up.
Wow.
Open the door. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
It was just absolutely. I loved it.
Of course.
And then my second one, I jumped out the window, got some crazy joint, and that thing was. It was raining. It was raining so much I would hold my umbrella upside down to catch them.
Oh my gosh.
But I always knew a lot of it probably was because of the vehicle, because you pull up, a lot of it, I knew it. And that was actually, we planned on it. That's why me and my friends would always be in it, so that parking lot pimping at its finest. We would be in the parking lot.
You ever let one of your boys drive and let them play?
Hell to the nah. Hell no. Because we knew what they wanted, the driver.
Yes.
I wanted first choice of whatever was out. You can have whatever's left, but I want first. First dibs over here.
A mess.
Right.
A mess. So wrapping up, what are some tips and suggestions? Hopefully we can get Neil back. We got you back, Neil.
I came back.
All right. So
why don't you take me out, Daryl? I know he did it.
Tips. Have a lot of money to keep women, fellas.
You know what?
No, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Right. What about the broke boys?
They don't deserve none, right? That's what y'all keep saying.
I know that's right.
No, it's tough. I think we really have to, again, see what a relationship means to us. What are we looking for in a relationship, right? If it's money, if you're looking for, hey, that's what you're looking for. By all means, do what you do. But just know what you want. Know what you want and what you will accept going in. And hopefully it's something more concrete than how much a person makes or something like that. I think you should base it off how they treat you, conversation, how you guys can discuss things. Like I said, just because a person has money doesn't mean you have money. You have access to the money, and that the money's there forever for you. Because when they're done with you, so is the money usually. All right.
Usually.
Money really not a great barometer of who you should be with. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth?
Well, I piggyback on to everything that was just said, but I would add, have those important discussions early on. We've established that. Be vulnerable in those discussions to a point where you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
But then try to build something that's not monetarily the focus.
Right.
Once you both understand where you are, where you stand with it, try to work that relationship out if you can, building away from just worrying about the financial piece. And that all should just hopefully line up at that point. Because you've shared, you've been honest, you've been transparent, and hopefully everything else will just line up. But try to do some free things.
Yes.
Try to do some free love.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think that when we're talking about the pre things, that you get to know or figure out your money story. Figure it out before you start trying to intersect with someone else and their money.
Right.
You know, figure out your own money story.
That's a good
You know, how do you think about money? What do you know, what's the value you place on it?
Right.
And these are things that even if you don't want to share them immediately with someone you're seeing, at least you know as you talk to them whether they match up. But you need to know for yourself, just like we talk about all the time, knowing yourself. This is part of that.
Right. And I would say, ladies, all y'all go out there and give a broke boy some coochie. You know that's right. Be nice. I'm just saying. Everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves love. Go ahead and help out your fellow man.
Some people don't, ladies. They just don't.
No.
Money or no money. They just
That's right.
I'm just saying, you got to help out where you can. And you might find, again, they said usually the people with the least amount of money or things of that nature are usually the best people. I'm just saying, go try it out. Find yourself a broke guy. Might change
Find yourself
your
a
life.
good guy.
I like that.
Broke or
again.
Poor.
Right,
broke or
right.
rich,
I like that.
or hey, I'm just trying to help out the broke guys right now. They're haters. I'm just saying find some broke guy. But no, yeah, find someone you can really enjoy. Find people you enjoy being around, independently of what they have. Right, like I said, because you want to be with someone. If something does happen, we're in the dark. We can still be okay. We can still laugh and have fun and make the best of it. You don't want to be in the dark and angry. I can't believe this. Don't touch me. That makes that night a lot longer. It'd be a lot better if you're having fun through the night as opposed to both being angry, your stomach hurting because you're mad. You don't want to do that. So, find someone that, and I truly believe that. I want to find someone that if I'm in a foxhole or when things are going crazy, that's my peace. That's the calming of the storm. So if something does happen, we can deal with it. And we're not at each other. That's the problem. When you don't have a great base, if you're at each other in those stormy weather, that's definitely terrible.
And that is not dictated by money.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Money is usually good when things are up. The trips and all that, that's when things are up. But what happens when you can't take those trips? What happens when you can't do X, Y, and Z? Money don't help if you're sick, right?
That's true.
And sometimes money can't help if you're sick, but someone being there, sitting next to you, holding your hand, rubbing your head, that is better than the money can't help you. You can't lay the money on your forehead and make you feel better.
We'll try.
Right. And you don't want someone who's going to be like, I'm not doing that unless you pay them.
Or while you sick, they living their best life on your money.
Yeah.
You laid up and they out there having their best life.
Oh man,
because
that reminds me.
Yes.
That reminds me of I can't think of her name. The black woman who had I think it was a cooking empire, and she developed Alzheimer's, and her friend moved in and was seeing her husband. I'm like, what the heck?
I think they got married too.
They did. Well, they waited until she. Well, no, she ain't dead yet. But they were.
No.
Listen. Yeah, she wasn't dead. So I mean, what are you supposed to do in that? She don't remember.
That doesn't mean you do it just because she won't remember. God,
That's wrong. That is just wrong.
we're talking about character now. We're talking about character.
Listen, what character? He took care. Because now you have a child, right? This woman is a child. She didn't remember anything. He had to do everything for her. They both were taking care of her. What about him? It wasn't like he left her.
Sickness and in health.
And he was there. He was there with her in her sickness and in health.
Okay, then
be there for her. He was very respectful. But what about his nuts? I mean, like it didn't say.
I think we need to take this up on another show.
I hope my thing goes out again. Let it go out.
We talk about these nuts on another show.
I need to breathe. I don't want to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining Relationship Flow Sip and Chat. We enjoy your participation, your communication. If you're interested in joining the panel, please contact us in Relationship Flow on Facebook. And, you can still comment on the discussion in that group as well. And we'll see you on next Friday.
We'll see you.
Have a good one. We're going to see about these nuts next week. Have a good one.